Hello, welcome inside the Hera Press Box. It is a Friday evening. We are not on our typical day that we have our episode, and we also didn't let our all of our fans know, so we might not have anybody watching tonight, which is kind of sucks, but it's something we deal with when we're in Showtime, like we are here in Hollywood. But we are also broadcasting during a U.S. national soccer game. They are at halftime right now. So as we move forward in this broadcast, I don't know if you are still watching, Alyssa, but I do have my
Yeah.
TV on. So
Yeah. I have it on my phone, so I'm like 2 minutes behind you, but I
okay,
have it on.
yeah. So if anything happens, just you'll know why we've shut up for a minute, I guess. So why? Um, yeah, I have a few things. Alyssa has a few things. What do you have that you want to start off with?
Just talking about, and we briefly quick talked about this here before we started, was the W League, which is the professional league over in Australia. They came up with a new collective bargaining agreement, essentially putting or making the team salary, the minimum salary per player as well, higher than it used to be, giving them more coverage on insurance, essentially more benefits overall, protecting their health, giving them a better training opportunity. So it's just showing that the game is growing, maybe not necessarily fully, but at least there it's growing. So I'm hoping that this is kind of a step in the right direction in the sense of hopefully other countries will follow, other national teams will follow in the footsteps of them, given that these players still aren't making a living off of their salaries. The minimum salary is 10,000, and that's in Australian dollars. I don't know if that's the correct terminology there, but I looked it up, and that's just under $8,000 American dollars, US dollars. So not really much of anything there. It's some source of income, better than it was last year. To give you an idea of what it was last year, it was 2,500 in Australian dollars, and now it's 10,000. So steps in the right direction. I think soccer on a global basis growing, and I think we've kind of seen that with the national teams with the past couple tournaments that the U.S. has hosted with She Believes in Tournament of Nations. It's a sport that's continuing to grow, and hopefully the backing of these teams will continue.
So that league was founded in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first year they played. Just as in comparison to NWSL, what kind of strides they've made.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch all W League games. Well, not all, but they did have a contract beginning in 2016 with ESPN3, and
Oh, they did.
yeah, so they stream at least one match every week.
Okay.
That was, so if your um, times are rough as far as being across the globe, but
Yeah.
the last year, and that better quality than Go 90.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think anything is better quality than Go 90.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
know. Uh-huh.
go ahead.
I was just going to say, in reference to your time zone change comment, I think they play Brazil tomorrow morning, I guess, at 12:30 a.m. And then the next time they play them in the next couple days, I think it's at 4 a.m. I really want to muster up the ability to watch both of those games. Tonight, there's a very good chance, but I don't even know if the US has a stream for it.
So
I
when
have
did
to look.
this whole Aussie love develop?
Develop. That's a good question. I don't know. I think I just started. I mean, I'd always kind of followed the NWSL, but you have kind of made me actually pay attention to the league and pay attention to the players and the teams. So I think it was just gaining knowledge on players and on teams, and it ended up being where a lot of my favorite players in the NWSL are Aussies.
this W League. I'm somebody who usually sounds like I don't want anybody to go anywhere and do anything outside of play in an American league with NWSL. This Australian league worked out great, and it's perfect. It's the off-season league that can fill the void of this NWSL team. And you see a lot of NWSL players go over there and play, which worked out perfectly in my opinion.
Yeah. I think this is best case scenario if we have NWSL players going somewhere else to play, in the sense of that their seasons are opposite of what we are at the same time. So it worked out that this league is growing, and I hope it only continues to grow, because I think having just soccer isn't where you can have it's not always going to be just one major league. You're going to always have more than one league. It's not, the NFL, where the NFL rules everything across the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
Or it'd be difficult to have that, I think.
Yeah, I mean it's a global game too. So
exactly.
You don't want to take the best players away from other people who have cared about the sport longer than what we have.
Right.
I didn't care about the sport at all until 6 years ago.
Yeah, what was it? The 2012 Olympics? Or right before that?
Right before that I got back into it. I guess when Ham was on the team, that I cared about it then, but then
it kind of faded.
Yeah. So I did want to talk about my purchase today.
Yeah.
Of NBA Live 18. NBA Live 18 was my basketball game of choice because they include the WNBA teams and players on the game. All you can do is you can play games with them, so you can't do any type of season. So no fantasy drafts, no online, nothing besides playing either WNBA team against another WNBA team, or using the All-Stars. They have Western, Eastern All-Stars on there, so you can play those teams. But
that's not as exciting.
No, and I don't know. I didn't have high hopes for that.
I had very high hopes.
That just takes time, and who would put that into the system, right?
But
I did play one game. Played with the Dallas Wings. We played the Los Angeles Sparks. And I only played for a half, just I wanted to get in there and see what it was like before I headed over to Terre Haute to watch Indiana State soccer take on IPFW. Gameplay is as good as NBA Live is going to be. It's always been superior to NBA 2K, but like I said, the fact that they had WNBA made me purchase it. Who knows how many others? That was the convincing factor of which game they should buy. Hopefully we see a number of people increase for the purchasers of NBA Live. We had talked about who we thought would be 90s and plus, right? 90 overall.
Yeah, that was a while back.
So there are 9 players, 90 or higher. 2 Sparks, 2 Lynx, 2 Mercury, Seattle, Washington, and New York are also.
Okay, I can. Are you trying? Am I supposed to guess them? Do you want me to guess them? So Sparks, Candace, NECA.
Yep.
Okay, and then 2 Lynx, Maya and Sylvia. And then what was it? 2 Phoenix, Diana and Brittany. And then what did you say? New York. Okay, Seattle, Sue Bird. No.
Sue Bird.
Ooh, Stewie.
Yep, 90.
Ooh. New York.
Okay, Washington, New York.
Washington, New York. Elena and Tina.
Yep. Those are the 9.
Wow, that was harsh on Sue Bird.
Yeah, Sue
Wow.
Bird 88,
I
Skylar
would have.
Diggins 80.
Yeah. Oh gosh. What was Skylar?
Skylar's an 88.
Okay. Wow.
I don't, I don't. I haven't looked too hard to see if there are any surprises. I was happy. So Ariel Powers is an 80, which I was
That's pretty good.
I was very happy
Mhm.
about. She doesn't have a picture. There's 3 or 4 girls
Yeah.
that don't have pictures on the game, which was interesting.
Maybe they didn't sign over
Yeah, then it's over
rights.
the rights.
Yeah, just like I don't think Michael Jordan is in any game.
NBA courtside, Kobe Bryant's NBA courtside, where it's Mr. Player is Michael Jordan on the Bulls. He's like a 99 overall, but just doesn't have a face. Yeah.
But doesn't have a face or really a name. Cool.
Yeah, but it's and like I said, I've only played for 1 half, but it was
Right.
really cool. And yeah, I'll have to figure out some way. I'm not gonna be able to figure out how to get all my favorite players on one team, but I'll have to figure out some way to make it entertaining enough for me to act like I'm playing in a season mode. So, but so then we, what's next? Do they next year, if they have enough success with it this year, people like it enough, do they create season mode or a franchise mode? What's next? And that ties into an article that as I was looking up how the gameplay goes with the women's game on NBA Live, and I found this article it was actually on Forbes. On Forbes.com, there was an article about the author was talking about the better gameplay for the WNBA, that it's a more manageable pace. There's no dunking, so that takes that aspect, which is probably pretty tough for the 6-foot white guys making the game in the office, so they don't have to really worry about that. I'm sure they have Griner able to dunk on the game. I haven't played with Phoenix yet, but
oh, that's a good. Candace should be able to dunk too.
We'll see. I'll try. I'll try with everybody. I'll try with Ariel.
Hey, she's there.
Diamond DeShields, right? Was that the video I told you to look up of her dunking after her knee injury?
No, you told me to look up Ariel Powers.
Was that Ariel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'll start dunking with her too. But yeah, this article on Forbes talks about it's better to play with the girls on this NBA Live, and recommends trying it. So that was very cool. And then
that's awesome.
As I was looking for those types of articles, I found an article on redbull.com.
Hey.
Redbull.com, and it's titled 6 Ways to Improve Women's Football in FIFA 18. So just to read those ways to do that, include club teams. So that would be NWSL plus European leagues, women's career mode, female creation suite. So being able to create players, which you can't do. The ultimate team, inclusion of females, feature women's story in the journey game mode. And then last one was talking about visibility, talking about how right now it's the women are the very last.
Right.
When you're sorting to find out what team you want to play with, or the very last option to go through. And so this article, written by Fraser Gilbert, says to split up male and female columns and hopefully get more visibility, or make it easier for people to randomly say, well, I'll play with the girls this time. So, and okay.
Oh, come on, Clay. Why do you have to react?
You don't even know what's going to happen.
Yes, I do, because I can tell what's about to happen. And
what? Okay, so how are you disappointed that I like? What is? That's
okay?
Not ruining
I'm way okay. I'm way
You're
behind.
Ruining this for me right now.
Okay, no more reactions from you. No
Okay.
more real.
Did you honestly expect me to just sit here and yep, there's a
Don't say
substitution being
anything.
made for the U.S.
Don't.
What? You don't even know who it is. It's Rose.
Is it? No, it's not. Oh my God.
Hey,
No,
you
it's
can't
not.
react. If I can't react, you can't react.
Hey, well, I'm just seeing who's getting subbed in. And
Who's getting subbed
FYI,
in?
she's wearing my number too. So
Well, too bad I'm buying the jersey.
too bad it belongs to someone else already.
Who? She's not on the team.
Yeah. Yeah. Because apparently Jill Ellis doesn't want her to get 100 caps ever. That's pretty exciting. That's pretty cool. I figured it was Sophia.
No, you didn't. You thought I was
Yes, I
gonna be
did.
Rose.
That was going to be my guess. When you said a substitution, that was going to be my guess.
All right. So anyway,
Anywho,
you had
yeah.
one or two more things that you wanted to talk about, didn't you?
Yeah, I guess the
Right, in
WNBA
WNBA.
playoffs.
Mhm.
Yeah, WNBA playoffs have started. Lynx are up 2-0, Sparks are up 2-0. The game that I probably watched the most of was last night, Phoenix versus LA. And when LA is on, LA is on. I haven't caught too much of a Lynx game at all this year, but clearly they're playing well. What did they start off? 16-0, 15-0, something crazy like that. But I think we're headed to another great finals. I think Nneka and Candace are incredible, and Elena Beard is probably one of the most underrated players in the league.
You want to know what she's rated on NBA Live?
Probably not, because I'm probably not going to be happy with it.
83.
Her defense got to be like 99, though. And we need to discuss, and I guess I jumped the gun on this one. I'm calling out Coach Don Staley without having full knowledge of what happened, but I have an excuse in the sense of the USA national article that came out from the basketball website did not say that Candace turned it down. It just listed the team. And you said that you could find 15 players better than Candace Parker.
I did?
Or did I read that wrong?
You read that 100% wrong.
Okay.
That was a joke saying that Dawn can. No, Candace Parker is an 80 as a 92. There's only 4 players better than her.
Who are the 4 players better than her?
Well, they're all 92. Well, Sylvia Fowles is a 93.
Okay. That I can accept.
Yeah, I did not mean that.
You seemed very serious.
Was it in like a message on the phone?
It was in a text form.
Yeah. So serious.
I figured you were so serious.
I didn't know I had to put /S in my text messages too, but that's what it takes. And, all right.
It does.
So is that all you had to beef about?
Yeah, that's all that I had to beef about.
Okay.
I apologized via Twitter. I took it back.
Yeah, you did.
I took it back. Oh, that was bad. So I'm just seeing the part where the NWSL standings came up for the game. Are you still thinking
they're
that
not making the playoffs?
Okay, all right.
So they're on their international break currently. When they come back, maybe a week from tonight, I'd like to run through the schedules and us make our predictions, win-loss in each game, and get.
Yeah, they gotta. Don't they have like a tough schedule too? Which I'm about to eat my own words again.
Well, they what? So 2 games left.
And I think they have They have the Thorns and then at North Carolina.
Mhm.
Ugh. They'll win that Thorns game. They're going to win that Thorns game, and they're going to win against North Carolina at home because North Carolina is going to sit their good players. They don't want to be hurt. They already clinched home field. There we go. They're making the playoffs. They're making the playoffs.
Seattle has Kansas City and Washington.
Ugh. Oh,
What
crap.
schedule would you rather have?
Yeah. But both of the teams that the Pride play have already clinched spots and have clinched home field.
Yeah, but they're also still better teams.
Yeah, but are they going to be going as hard as the Pride are? You think? Do you think that they're going to still go all out? Doubtful.
Neither has clinched.
Yeah.
So the top seed is not secured.
Okay. Yes, but who does North Carolina have?
To play?
Yeah.
Sky Blue FC, Houston.
Oh
Orlando.
boy. Oh boy.
And I mean, you either play based on those schedules, and who does Chicago play? Chicago play. I'm sure it's not as easy as those, but Houston,
Yeah.
Portland, Chicago play. So let's say they win one of those, and then Orlando loses both of theirs, and Seattle wins both of theirs, and so it would be the 2 seed playing Chicago. I can't imagine those top 2 teams wanting to play Chicago over those other teams. So I think that is worth the fight for the 1 seed for.
Yeah, that's true.
So we will talk about those and make our predictions next week. We'll do that next week. I did see, I'm not sure if you saw, that Amanda Duffy, who's sort of the acting commissioner of the league, talked about a few things. She made a few bullet points, eyebrow raising sort of comments about the marketing of the league and how they're trying to figure out how to market to both the soccer moms and to the millennials, that this deal with A&E on Lifetime, they've seen their viewership demographic age increase slightly with being on that channel as opposed to ESPN or FS1.
Right.
She talked about that the league will need to mature greatly in the next year to 2 years.
Which is going to be difficult when you have games streaming on Go90 that stop in the middle of games.
Yeah, no mention of Go90.
Yeah, I wonder why.
She also talked about the next big step of increasing the player salaries, but she wants to be careful not to follow previous leagues in regards to costs. There was also praise given to Portland and Orlando for their marketing of NWSL teams, putting them at a standard just as high as their men's team.
Do you think it's a marketing thing, or do you think it's in the sense of those 2 cities? Do you think it's a marketing thing, or do you think those 2 cities just love soccer? Or if it's both, which one do you think it's more of? Which is more impactful?
With Seattle, I could see it being just the love of the game, per se. It could also be that's just kind of it seems to be a hip thing to do, and those 2 cities seem like that's what they would be for. But no, I think it's the marketing. I don't know if you saw my comment that I made, the picture of Colaprico, and I'm not joking. I have no idea who the Fire player was, but there was some Chicago Fire player, and they had exchanged jerseys. And
Dax.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was Dax McCarty. I think.
Oh, okay.
No, he.
I don't know. It
Oh,
doesn't
no, I have
matter.
to look it up.
Yeah, so I guess I've been on a fairly fun tear through the men's side of things as far as male players and um, them getting praised when I don't think they should. So one was this Color Perico and whoever this guy was exchanging jerseys, and the hashtag from the Chicago Red Stars tweet was one city. So my reply was next step is making it one stadium and actually whatever put I don't know what I put advertising supporting the Red Stars with some display into a park because there's absolutely nothing. You walk to the place and you have no idea that there's another team there besides the Fire. They have every single Fire player. Their flyer is outside. It says on the brick wall to the north end when you walk in, huge Chicago Fire on the field. The benches, obviously Fire logos on the boards. Yeah, you have no idea there's another team that plays there.
Yeah, so, I've been to Toyota Park once, and that was it back in 2013? I think it was like the victory tour from the Olympics.
Well, don't bash too much yet because Red Stars didn't play there in 2013.
Okay. All right. But I was just going to say I don't ever remember seeing anything. I don't ever remember seeing anything in the times that I've been in Chicago advertising any sort of NWSL team outside of social media.
And that comes some with it being, I mean, it's in a suburb. It's not.
Yeah, but still.
I mean, that would be.
They have a winning team in the city, or at least in the general vicinity, and they aren't promoting them in the way that they should be promoted.
I mean, I'm not gonna. I can't sit here and say that I don't want to see them promoted, but I don't have as big of an issue as you think I would probably with that. That they don't have a tapestry hanging from the top of as much as I would enjoy that.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe with Sophia Huerta making her debut on the national team, we can get something going there.
Yeah.
Rahm Emanuel. Maybe, yeah. Well, I don't know if Rahm Emanuel has a Twitter, but I'll get a hold of him and see maybe he wants to go to a Red Star game one day and the mayor of Chicago.
Yeah.
And see what we can do.
Figure something out there.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to listen to Beth Mowins' broadcast?
I did not. That is something that I had not gotten to.
So Beth Mowins was the play-by-play announcer for the Monday Night Football game, the second one, the doubleheader for NFL. Beth Mowins, the play-by-play for the second game, Chargers and Broncos, became the first female to nationally broadcast for an NFL game. She was in the booth with Rex Ryan. And you get on Twitter and you see a lot of the comments saying that the only reason why it was worth having the volume on at all for that game or keeping them from turning the game off was Beth Mowins. And it just shows you how great of an announcer she is. So fantastic. That's the praise she received for that.
Yeah, I know. I meant to go back and I meant to actually record the game so I'd be able to hear, but from what I was hearing via Twitter, it pretty much just confirmed any thoughts that I was going to have about how she was going to do, let alone in general with her being in the booth and then having to have Rex Ryan next to you, which isn't he's got a big personality is probably a good way of putting it, at least as a coach he did. So to be able to handle that and ride the storm with that is huge, and it shows the talent that she's had and has and the skill that she's developed in the booth or for the booth.
Should have brought this up whenever we were talking about one, a West Coast team, two, kind of the marketing and how it's affected by whatever the male teams or whatnot. So there's talk now of expansion to Seattle within the NBA and NHL because they are renovating the that arena that the Supersonics played in. So
Okay.
expansion, NBA and NHL.
Hmm.
Could be in the next year or two that we see them get a team.
Yeah.
How does that, in your opinion, have an effect on the Reign? And I know your answer is going to be for that because it's not going to have a huge impact because that seems to be a select group that go to the soccer matches. But maybe it does have an effect on those teams. But especially the Storm, is there a large enough number of people who go to Storm games and support the Storms and support the Storm and buy season tickets? Is there a good enough number of people that do that just because they're basketball fans that when they leave to go support the Supersonics because they can only invest their time and money in one team, do we see any impacts from this expansion of two other professional teams?
That's a good question. I don't think you're going to see a good number switch in the sense of that they're going to buy the NBA teams or the NHL teams tickets than they would anything else. I think marketing and visibility is going to be different. I think those are the two things that are going to play the biggest impact on the Storm. Because Seattle used to have this franchise, was essentially taken for granted, then they moved away, and there's been so much buildup with getting an NBA team back there. The city, it feels like the people in the city want an NBA team back. So I think that the excitement is going to draw so much more attention to the NBA, and I hope, this is my hope, that the NBA player, if an NBA team comes back to Seattle, they support the team like how they do in the NWSL and MLS of soccer in Orlando. I think that that city represents what a city of a male and a female professional league should be. I think that they're both supportive. They both are, posting about it on social media and saying whatever they needed to say to promote both sides of it. So I hope that that's the case. I highly doubt that that's going to be the case. Just based off of things that I've seen across the league. I mean, you've seen Booker go to some games. You've seen Kobe show up at Sparks games. But it's not essentially the whole team supporting another team. And I think it would be huge if Seattle got a team, an NBA team, and they came in and they all ended up showing up at a WNBA game. And they're all talking about, every time the Storm played, they were talking about it. That's how people pay attention. That's how people gain fandom, essentially. Right? I mean, is that a wrong assumption?
Would they get fined if they wore a Storm shirt to the arena or wore it during an interview? Because that'd be pretty cool.
Would they get fined?
Mm-hmm.
Why would they get fined?
I don't know what the dress code violations are for the NBA, but
NFL doesn't.
You know what?
NFL doesn't get fined.
No fines?
I don't think so.
One of the leagues is strict, but I don't know which one it is.
I don't think so. I don't remember ever that being a thing in the NBA or the NFL. Maybe on the way to games, it's different. Afterwards, it's lenient. I don't know. I guess I haven't heard about that one at all.
Could be. Couple things for me to finish up with. One, we've talked about Midwestern college soccer and sort of the lack of, maybe not talent, but the talent just leaves, the lack of the lack of quality teams, right, in
Mhm.
the central part of the United States, or within a close vicinity to me, so within 3 hours. But now we do see a few teams that are having great seasons so far. Cincinnati, Butler, and St. Louis being three teams that are receiving votes. So three teams that I'll keep an eye on for the rest of the year. This weekend, Cincinnati did lose to LSU, but Butler, the Bulldogs, went on the road at Texas A&M, so the 10th best team in the nation, and got a win against the Aggies. And St. Louis beat Evansville 3-1. So I'm interested to see how those teams progress throughout the year through their conference schedules, and if we start to see some sort of program built that draws an interest and keeps interest within their region.
Yeah, I'm just looking over the rankings right now. Got Marquette ranked, which is pretty big. UWM is still getting some votes. I think a little bit less than last week, but
Yeah, I did
at least up by me.
I did not get my rankings out.
Yeah,
but they are completed. But I'll probably just wait to do them until next week. No big changes. I added a few
Right.
teams, but
yeah.
Wanted to mention NCAA hockey. Preseason starts tomorrow. There are maybe one game tomorrow, one game Sunday. There are two games this weekend, one of those being Wisconsin taking on the Japanese national team in LeBron Arena in Madison. And then a week from tonight, I do believe it is a week from tonight, the actual season starts. Yeah. So we'll be able to talk more about that. NWHL, also right around the corner, which we'll be able to discuss. But besides that, I don't have anything else for this episode. Nothing for you. Okay. I figured we can advertise for those NWSL predictions that we'll make. Also want to start working on, if you would please, your rankings, or maybe we can do grades of for each. Well, we can go league by league, so start with one league and move to the next of team. 3 different categories.
Okay.
Jerseys, logo, arena, ballpark, field, stadium. So 3.
That was 3.
Yeah, those were dashes in between.
Oh, okay. I
mean, yeah, I don't think the Chicago Sky have a ball field that they practice at too.
Okay.
That might be why they suck if they're spending time.
They're busy at the ballpark.
Mm-hmm. So work on that.
Right.
We can figure out which league would be the least exciting. Well, let's do NWHL first, since there's only 4.
Yeah.
That'll be the easiest to do. So jerseys, logo can also include nickname, so you can improve. You can think about that with logo, team name, and then their arena. So 3 columns there. And yeah, let's go grade.
Grades.
Okay. Yep. Let's do grades for that.
Okay. Are we doing the UW Madison where it's A, B, 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 C? Or are we doing A+, A?
Pluses.
Pluses. All right.
Let's do pluses. Yeah. I have bad memories.
Yeah. I was hoping you were gonna say what you said.
Actually, you couldn't get a DF, so I was okay with that.
Yeah. That's true.
Then, last thing I will do is I have a suggestion.
Okay.
Potential suggestion after listening to John Lipsitz and Chris Henderson's podcast about a potential trade for the number 1 overall draft pick next year's draft. Ooh. So we'll talk about that some next week. We'll get your reaction to that. But for tonight's episode,
you say the score.
Yeah, I do. I saw it. I did not say anything. No reaction to me. And with that, we'll let you go. Thanks for stopping by the Hero Press Box.